Huh.
Hello there. Welcome to the third episode, week 3 of 6 weeks of Soap of the Gods. The artisan is Monica Gillum, and the website is vanulay.com. Today we're going to be using Windwalker. Once again, I have to give mad props to presentation. That's just absolutely beautiful. When I look at that one, it looks like the surface of the moon or some strange planet or whatever. I'm just kind of using my imagination. But it's beautiful and unique. I don't know anybody else who does that, and I like it a lot. And I'm glad that she does that. I think I heard her mention on a post on one of the Facebook or Google Plus groups that she debated whether or not, how people would accept that and whether she should do that or not. I absolutely love that, and it's something as I look through YouTube and on the Shave the Days that are using these that people are pointing out all the time. People really like this approach, and I have to agree. So Windwalker, I've got written down her scent description here, and so I'm going to look at it over here. The description of this is spearmint, eucalyptus, soft musk, amber, and bergamot, or bergamot, or however you guys pronounce it, bergamot. I saw Christopher David Bailey, who was pronouncing something he couldn't pronounce that well, and he said, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. That's how I'm pronouncing it, bergamot. So anyway, this scent, I really think that it is aptly named, because to me it smells really fresh. It smells, if I imagined in my head what the wind smelled like, this would be pretty close. Wonderful scent. Off the puck, the scent strength is just right. So, all right, today we're going to be using my Simply Beautiful Pure Badger brush. These soaps do not take a lot of work to lather, and a nice soft badger brush. And most of the pure badgers, the cheaper pure badgers like that, they don't have a lot of backbone and stuff like that. It's one of the things I like about them. I like all different kinds, and from a bunch of backbone to no backbone at all. They all have their uses, and they're all great fun to use. And this soap doesn't require any backbone. It lathers wonderfully. And I'm going to be using my Germania Cutlery, the Oxford razor, with the bird's eye maple scales and a black ebony wedge. We're going to go ahead and get this soap started lathering. I've seen Anthony Esposito. He's doing kind of a series, although he didn't announce the series, but if you watch his videos, he's kind of doing a series on hard to lather soaps. Soaps that people think that. Last video I watched, he was using Eucharist. I don't know what he's into now, but I'll definitely be checking that out. But anyway, he's kind of doing a series on soaps that people consider hard to lather. And while I do agree that there are probably people that have difficulties with certain soaps, for instance, he lathered Williams wonderfully. It took me a little bit to learn to use modern Williams, but once I got it right, I don't have a dime's worth of trouble out of it. It's not hard to lather once you understand what the soap wants. But anyway, one of the things that he mentioned there is something that I have to agree with and kind of expand upon a little bit. You need to load your brush, man. You know, we've gotten spoiled, especially the new wet shavers. They don't know or understand. There's so many products out there now that you can do like 3 swirls on the puck, and you got a boatload of lather, and everybody is so used to that they don't understand. You know what? There are some soaps out there that don't work like that. And that's not really a fault of the soap. It's just different formulas. But that doesn't mean that you won't get a wonderful shave out of that soap if you take just a little bit of time and lather the thing. You know, load your brush more than 10 seconds or 15 seconds. You know, load the sucker. Take time to work the soap a bit so that it matures into what it's supposed to be lather-wise. And you'll be surprised how many really nice, beautiful soaps that you're passing by just because you don't want to lather very much. You don't want to take the time to do that. And you know what? That's perfectly valid if that's what you want to do. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not calling anybody lazy. I'm not saying that you don't want to work for it. I'm not being smart alecky or condescending or anything like that in any way. If you like the soaps that lather really fast and that's what you want to do, you know, and you don't care to try the other soaps, well then that's a decision you made. And you know what? Like Julia Child said about the kitchen, you're at home in your bathroom. You can do whatever you want. But, you know, people come on the forums and on the Facebook pages all the time. Oh, that's a junky soap. I can't get it to lather. Well, just because you didn't want to spend the time. Now, if you did, this ain't about you. But, you know, if you didn't want to spend more than 10 or 15 seconds on that soap, and it happens to be a soap that takes a little bit longer, guess what? That's not the soap's fault. It's not. That's your fault because you chose not to spend that time. But it doesn't mean the soap's bad. It does mean perhaps that you don't like that soap. You prefer something that's easier to lather. There's nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't mean the soap's bad. There's a lot of stuff that happens, and I bet you I'm probably guilty of it as well. So please understand. But there's a lot of stuff that happens in the shaving world about products. We develop preferences, and we think those preferences are actually kind of like universal laws, you know. And because I prefer one thing over another, I see something as inferior or superior, and a lot of times it's not the case. It's just my preference. So anyway, caught my sideburn a little bit. Cut a little funny piece off the side of it with my razor just there, and oh well. It'll be alright, I think. The scent on this soap, Monica, because I know you're probably watching sooner or later. Yeah, it's absolutely lovely. For me, the scent strength on this is almost perfectly. It's darn near perfect. If it was a little bit more, I wouldn't mind, but that's lovely. Something that I've noticed about her soaps the last 2 times I've used them A lovely shave, by the way. Anyway, something I've noticed the last two soaps that I've used is her lather is really consistent from the container to your face. What I mean by that, a lot of scents are really so complex, and there's nothing wrong with there's complexity in this scent. I'm not saying this is a simple scent, but a lot of scents are so flipping complex. There's so much going on in them that you have to kind of put a little bit of warm water on top of the puck and let it. Everybody calls it blooming. I don't know what it's called. Bloom's a good enough word for me, you know, so that that scent will come out. Or it changes once you put it in a warm bowl and add warm water to it and whip it up and put it on your face. The scent changes a lot. Some a little and some a lot. With these soaps, I have a wonderful I don't know. I don't want to say complexity, though. There is complexity to it. There's a lot of stuff going on. But there's such a wonderful build. I'm going to add a little water to that next round. But they're built so wonderfully, in my opinion. And yet they retain that scent that you get off the puck. When you lather the soap and bring it to your face, I'm going to add quite a bit of water to that. It might get it a little thin, but you know me, I don't mind thin as long as it's slick and wet. I like slick and wet. And there wasn't anything wrong with that last lather. I just, a lot of guys would love that. I just want a little more wet. That's me, not her. That's not the soap. That's not the soap. That's how I lathered it. So anyway, what I was saying about the scent, it's just lovely. It reminds me a whole lot of a fresh breeze. Maybe I don't sense salt water or anything like that, but maybe I spend a lot of time on ponds and lakes and on the river, or I used to. I don't spend as much anymore. And this kind of reminds me of that clean smell that comes off a lake or a pond in the morning. Hard to describe it. There's also an element of like cologne or perfume type scent there as well, which is quite lovely. And once again, in my opinion, it's really, it's got a really wonderful lather to it. There's a it has a solid feel, but there's still a lightness and a luxuriousness to the lather that lovely. That just makes it, in my opinion, wonderful. I could compare it to a few different soaps that I've tried that are fairly expensive, and it would hold up to them just fine without a bit of trouble. Just lovely. All right, what I'm gonna do, to me, that's a bit much trying to decide what aftershave I go with, because I was remiss in choosing it. So, to me, what I have at hand, and I don't have very expensive aftershaves, the Gillette Cool Wave goes with that really well. Wonderful. So, wonderful shave. Yulay, Soap of the Gods. I would recommend that you check them out. She's got like so many scents I can't even name them. I've only got 6 of them. The ones that this Windwalker is a wonderful scent. Looking forward to the other 3 that I have. All right. God bless you, Monica. Thank you guys for watching this video. Ray Pope, thank you again for the samples. I'm really enjoying them. God bless you all, and I will talk to you later.